For as long as Earth has existed, the sun has been its silent partner, hanging in the sky, unwavering. It has poured energy across the void, feeding oceans, shaping climates, and awakening life from inert matter. From the simplest microbes to the tallest trees, every living thing is a child of sunlight. We are no exception. Our civilizations are built on photosynthesis. Our food, our warmth, even our fossil fuels are gifts from ancient sunlight, captured by dead plants and stored underground. The rhythms of our lives, the days, the seasons, the centuries, are shaped by our orbit around this single middle-aged star. But for all its constancy, the sun is not eternal. It is a furnace of nuclear reactions, burning through its hydrogen fuel in a delicate balance of gravity and heat. And one day, that balance will break. We often speak of climate change or extinction as threats to life on Earth. But there is a deeper, more inevitable truth, written not in politics or ecosystems, but in the laws of physics. The sun itself will be the end of life on Earth, and the countdown has already begun. The sun was born about 4.6 billion years ago, deep within a cold cloud of gas and dust. As gravity pulled the cloud inward, pressure and temperature at its core increased until, suddenly, a threshold was crossed and nuclear fusion ignited. Hydrogen atoms were crushed into helium, releasing immense amounts of energy. A star was born. Since then, the sun has remained stable, a main sequence star, steadily converting hydrogen into helium at its core. This fusion releases a constant stream of photons, which travel from the sun's interior, through its layers, and across space to Earth. It's a process so vast and so stable that, to us, it feels eternal. But stars live on borrowed time. The sun, like all stars, has only so much hydrogen to burn. When it runs out, fusion will falter, gravity will take over, and the sun will change. Radically, before it dies, the sun will evolve, growing more dangerous, more unstable, and ultimately lethal. Even now, while it seems tranquil, the sun is changing. Slowly, steadily, almost imperceptibly, it is growing brighter. Every 100 million years, the sun's energy output increases by roughly 1%. That may sound small, barely a flicker, but in the delicate balance of Earth's climate, it is a warning shot. A billion years from now, the sun will be 10% more luminous. That extra heat will begin to tip the scales of Earth's climate beyond recovery. Oceans will evaporate more quickly, carbon cycles will break down, photosynthesis will falter, and with those changes, the foundation of all life will begin to crumble. Life on Earth is not simply threatened by rare catastrophes or cosmic accidents. It is under siege, slowly, methodically, by the very star that made it possible. And we are already halfway through the safe window. As sunlight intensifies, the Earth's oceans will begin to evaporate. Water vapor, itself a greenhouse gas, will trap more heat, accelerating the cycle. The more heat the sun pours in, the more water turns to vapor. The more vapor, the more heat remains trapped. Eventually, this feedback loop will spiral out of control. Rainfall will cease, rivers will dry, deserts will expand, swallowing grasslands and forests. Ice caps will vanish. Global temperatures will soar past the boiling point of water. Our blue planet will turn gray, then brown, then scorched. This is what scientists call a runaway greenhouse effect, and we've seen it before. On Venus. Once, Venus may have had oceans and clouds like Earth, but too close to the sun, it spiraled into an irreversible greenhouse state. Today, its surface is hot enough to melt lead, and its atmosphere is a suffocating blanket of carbon dioxide and acid. A billion years from now, Earth will begin to follow Venus into that inferno. And when the oceans are gone, the planet will be silenced. No fish, no birds, no forests, no breath. As apocalyptic as the runaway greenhouse might be, it's just the beginning. In about 5 billion years, the sun will reach the end of its hydrogen supply. With fusion slowing at its core, gravity will no longer be balanced by outward pressure. The sun will begin to collapse. But in this cosmic contraction, something extraordinary happens. As the core shrinks and heats, it reignites fusion in surrounding shells, and this causes the sun's outer layers to expand. Violently, the sun will swell into a red giant, a bloated, unstable star hundreds of times larger than its current size. Its surface will stretch outward, perhaps as far as Earth's current orbit. Mercury and Venus will be swallowed whole. Earth may be consumed as well, or perhaps barely escape, flung into a wider orbit. But either way, our planet will be scorched beyond recognition. Even the crust will begin to vaporize. Mountains will melt. The atmosphere will be blasted into space. Earth will become a glowing ember, a sterile, lifeless rock. This, then, is the true death of our world. Not with ice, but with fire. After a short few million years of chaos, the red giant phase will end. The sun will shed its outer layers into space, creating a glowing shell of gas known as a planetary nebula, a hauntingly beautiful grave marker, lighting up the interstellar medium. What remains will be the core, a white dwarf, small, dense, and hot, but no longer burning fuel. It will shine faintly for billions, perhaps trillions, of years, cooling slowly, eventually fading into darkness. A black dwarf, and with it, the last ember of the solar system will go cold. The planets will be gone. The heat will be gone. The story of our sun will come to a quiet, dark end. And so we return to the paradox. The sun, the giver of life, will be our destroyer. It's not malevolent. It does not choose. It follows the laws of physics, driven by forces older than time, gravity, pressure, fusion. Its end is written in its beginning. From the moment it was born, the sun has been burning toward our extinction. We tend to think of threats as external, asteroids, supernovae, alien invasion. But our greatest existential threat lies at the center of our own sky, shining every day. The same light that nurtured our first cells will one day boil away the oceans. The same warmth that made Earth a cradle for consciousness will reduce it to ash. There is no escaping this truth, but there may be a way to survive it. Long before the final crisis, long before Earth burns or the sun swells, intelligent life may face a choice: stay or go. We may build cities on Mars, shield Earth with artificial megastructures, or one day, leave the solar system entirely. This would require technology we can scarcely imagine: starships, cryogenic arcs, interstellar propulsion, perhaps artificial worlds orbiting younger stars, perhaps entire civilizations encoded into digital form and broadcast through space. If we do nothing, life on Earth will end. But if we act, if we become cosmic in scale, perhaps the sun's death won't be our own. Perhaps our descendants will look back on the Earth as their origin, a mythic place of oceans and trees and stars at night, a memory lit by a yellow star, long faded. Consider this: dinosaurs ruled the Earth for over 160 million years. Humans have existed for only 300,000. The sun has another billion years before it renders Earth uninhabitable. That's over 3,000 times the length of all recorded human history. We are infants, a flicker in the cosmic timeline. And yet, we are the first species to understand the fate of our planet, the first to map the future of the sun, the first to know that one day our world will burn. That knowledge is both a burden and a gift. It means we still have time. So, knowing all this, what should we do? Despair is easy, but awareness is better. Understanding the sun's future reminds us of how precious and temporary Earth is. It gives urgency to our stewardship of the planet. It tells us not to waste the time we have. We are made of stardust, but we are also made of sunlight, shaped by it, sustained by it, doomed by it. The sun does not care whether we survive, but we can. We can build, explore, adapt, and maybe carry the flame of life far beyond the dying light of this one star. One day, Earth will be gone, its continents scorched, its oceans boiled, its skies silent. But before that day comes, a species of fragile, carbon-based beings stood beneath its sky and understood what was coming. They carved meaning from chaos. They measured time in sunlight. They dreamed of distant stars. And perhaps, just perhaps, they found a way to continue. The sun will end life on Earth. But before it does, it gave us everything.